think video games are just harmless fun? What if I told you there's a game out there that's more than just pixels on a screen? Dive into the terrifying tale of Ben Drowned, where an innocent quest to relive childhood memories turns into a nightmarish reality. Ready to uncover the truth? Keep watching, if you dare. Welcome to our channel. Today, we delve into one of the most spine-chilling urban legends of the gaming world, the story of Ben Drowned. It all begins with a dusty old cartridge of The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, bought at a garage sale. But this is no ordinary game. As the player starts their journey, strange and unsettling events begin to unfold, drawing them into a horrifying nightmare where the line between game and reality blurs. Buckle up, because this story is not for the faint of heart. I had always been an avid gamer, especially when it came to the classics. Growing up in the early 2000s, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask held a special place in my heart. The intricate dungeons, the eerie atmosphere, and the race against time all contributed to an unforgettable gaming experience. So when I stumbled upon a garage sale one Saturday afternoon and saw a dusty old cartridge of Majora's Mask, I couldn't resist. The seller, a thin, elderly man with a gaunt face and sunken eyes, seemed eager to get rid of it. He sold it to me for a mere $5, muttering something under his breath as he handed it over. I didn't think much of it at the time, chalking it up to his age. Little did I know that this chance encounter would mark the beginning of a nightmare. That night, I eagerly plugged the cartridge into my Nintendo 64, expecting a trip down memory lane. However, the moment the game started, I noticed something odd. The title screen flickered, and the iconic Dawn of the First Day music played slower than usual. A chill ran down my spine, but I dismissed it as a glitch due to the cartridge's age. As I navigated through the game, things became stranger. NPCs would stare at me for unnaturally long periods, their eyes empty and soulless. Text boxes displayed cryptic messages like, "You shouldn't be here," and "He is watching." My heart pounded, but I continued playing, curiosity and nostalgia driving me forward. It wasn't until I reached Clocktown that I saw something truly disturbing. A new save file named Ben had appeared alongside my own. I didn't remember creating it, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. I selected Ben's file out of morbid curiosity, and what I saw next would haunt me forever. Link, the protagonist, stood in the middle of Clocktown, but the bustling city was eerily silent. No music, no NPCs, just an oppressive, unsettling silence. I tried moving Link, but he wouldn't respond. Instead, the screen slowly panned to a nearby alley where a boy stood. He looked like one of the standard NPC children, but there was something off about him. His skin was pale, almost translucent, and his eyes were pitch black. As I stared at him, a text box appeared. "I am Ben." The screen flickered, and suddenly Link was facing the boy. Despite my attempts to control him, Link moved forward on his own. The boy's mouth twisted into a sinister smile as another text box appeared. "Want to play?" My heart raced as Link and Ben vanished into the alley. The screen went black, and a distorted looping version of the Song of Healing played in the background. I couldn't bring myself to turn off the console. Instead, I waited, hoping it was just a glitch that would resolve itself. When the game resumed, Link was standing in what appeared to be a twisted version of the Happy Mask salesman's shop. The once cheerful music was now a slow, haunting melody, and the masks on the walls had been replaced with grotesque faces frozen in silent screams. I tried to move Link, but the controls were unresponsive. A text box appeared. "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" I shivered as the Happy Mask salesman emerged from the shadows, his smile unnaturally wide. His eyes were hollow, and as he approached Link, the screen flickered again. Link fell to his knees, and another text box appeared. "You can't escape." The game world began to distort. Walls twisted, floors cracked, and the screen filled with static. Link's health started to deplete rapidly, even though there were no enemies around. Desperate, I tried every button, but nothing worked. Link collapsed and the screen went black. Moments later, a new scene loaded. Link stood before the stone tower temple, but everything was wrong. The sky was blood red, and the moon loomed unnaturally close, its grotesque face leering down. Ben stood at the temple entrance, his eyes glowing with a malevolent light. "Welcome to my world," a text box read. Link entered the temple, and what followed was a nightmare. The dungeon was a twisted maze of horrors. Walls dripped with blood, disembodied hands reached out from the darkness, and distorted ghostly figures roamed the halls. The Elegy of Emptiness statue, normally a helpful tool in the game, now appeared randomly, blocking paths and taunting me with its blank stare. As I navigated the temple, Ben's presence grew stronger. He would appear suddenly, causing the screen to glitch and Link to lose health. Each encounter left me more shaken, but I couldn't stop. I had to see this through. After hours of torment, I reached the temple's final chamber. It was an expansive room filled with swirling shadows and flickering lights. In the center stood Ben, his smile now a rictus of pure evil. "You shouldn't have come here," the text box read. Link drew his sword, but Ben was unfazed. The battle that followed was unlike any boss fight in the game. Ben moved with supernatural speed, phasing in and out of existence. Every hit Link landed was met with a chilling laugh that echoed through the room. As Link's health dwindled, Ben's taunts grew more vicious. "You're just a pawn. He can't save you. This is your end." The screen flickered with every blow, and the music became a cacophony of distorted notes. Finally, with one last desperate strike, Link managed to land a blow on Ben. The screen erupted in static, and when it cleared, Ben was gone. Link stood alone in the chamber, his health critically low. A text box appeared. "You can't escape the curse." The screen faded to black, and I was returned to the title screen. Shaken, I turned off the console and sat in silence. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me, that Ben was still there, lurking in the shadows. Over the next few days, I couldn't escape the feeling of dread that hung over me. Every time I turned on my console, the Ben save file was there, taunting me. I tried deleting it, but it always reappeared. I even took the cartridge to a friend's house, hoping it was just my console, but the same thing happened. It wasn't just the game. I started having nightmares, vivid and horrifying. I would find myself in the twisted version of Clocktown, with Ben always lurking just out of sight. His laughter echoed in my mind, even after I woke up. One night, I woke up to find my TV on, displaying the game's title screen. My heart pounded as I approached the console, certain I had turned it off before bed. The Ben save file was the only option. Trembling, I selected it, hoping to end this nightmare once and for all. Link appeared in the stone tower temple, but this time the chamber was different. It was filled with mirrors, each reflecting Ben's malevolent grin. As I moved Link, the mirrors shattered, releasing shadowy figures that attacked relentlessly. I fought them off, but they kept coming, their laughter mixing with Ben's taunts. Desperate, I tried to turn off the console, but it wouldn't respond. I was trapped, forced to endure the onslaught. Finally, Link collapsed, and the screen went black. "You can't escape." The text box appeared again, but this time it was followed by a new message. "He is coming." The screen flickered, and Ben's face filled the screen, his eyes boring into mine. I screamed and yanked the power cord from the wall, plunging the room into darkness. I couldn't sleep after that. I spent hours researching Ben Drowned, discovering that I wasn't alone. Others had encountered the haunted cartridge, each with their own tales of horror. Some had even claimed that Ben could cross over into the real world, his malevolence spreading beyond the game. Determined to end this, I reached out to an online community of gamers who specialized in dealing with haunted games. They provided me with a ritual to cleanse the cartridge involving candles, salt, and a specific incantation. That night, I followed their instructions to the letter. I placed the cartridge in a circle of salt, lit the candles, and began chanting the incantation. As I spoke the final words, the room grew cold and the shadows seemed to deepen. Suddenly, the TV flickered to life, displaying Ben's grinning face. His laughter filled the room, chilling me to the bone. "You can't escape me," he taunted. But I continued the ritual, my voice steady despite the fear. The TV screen began to distort and Ben's image wavered, I chanted louder, focusing all my energy on banishing him. With a final shout, the TV went black and the room fell silent. The candles flickered out and the oppressive cold lifted. I collapsed, exhausted but hopeful that it was over. The next morning, I awoke to find the cartridge cracked in half. The plastic warped and melted. I disposed of it immediately, hoping that would be the end of it. For a while it seemed like it was. The nightmares ceased, and I no longer felt Ben's presence. But the experience had left its mark. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and the sound of laughter would sometimes echo in my mind. I stayed away from video games for a long time, fearing that I might inadvertently summon another malevolent entity. Years passed, and I slowly began to move on. I kept my encounter with Ben to myself, sharing it only with close friends who dismissed it as an overactive imagination. But deep down, I knew the truth. Ben was real, and I had narrowly escaped his clutches. One day, I received an email from an unknown sender. The subject line read, "You can't escape." My blood ran cold as I opened the email, finding only a single line of text. "He is still watching." Attached was a video file. Against my better judgment, I opened it. The screen filled with static before showing a familiar scene, the stone tower temple filled with mirrors. In the center stood Ben, his eyes glowing with malevolent glee. "You can't escape," the text box read. As the video played, my computer screen distorted and a chill filled the room. Ben's laughter echoed once more, louder and more menacing than ever. Panicking, I tried to close the video, but my computer was unresponsive. The screen flickered, and Ben's face filled the screen, his eyes boring into mine. "You can't escape," he repeated. Desperate, I yanked the power cord from the wall, plunging the room into darkness. The laughter faded, but the fear remained. I knew then that Ben would never truly be gone. His curse was more than just a haunted game. It was a malevolent force that could not be easily banished. I could never play Majora's Mask again, nor could I ever forget the horrors I had faced. I reached out to the online community once more, sharing my latest encounter. They confirmed my fears. Ben was a persistent entity, one that could latch onto anyone who interacted with the cursed cartridge. The community suggested a final solution, destroying all evidence of Ben. I wiped my computer, deleted all emails, and purged my digital presence of any mention of him. But deep down, I knew it was only a temporary fix. Years passed, and I tried to live a normal life. But the memories of Ben Drowned never truly faded. I could never shake the feeling that he was lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to return. Every now and then, I'd hear about someone encountering a haunted game cartridge, and my heart would race. I knew the signs, and I knew the terror that awaited them. I could only hope they were stronger than I had been. The legend of Ben Drowned became an urban legend, a cautionary tale for gamers. But I knew the truth. Ben was real, and his malevolence knew no bounds. He is still out there, waiting for his next victim. And so, I offer this warning to anyone who dares to play an old, forgotten game. Beware the curse of Ben Drowned, for once you invite him into your life, there is no escaping his grasp. You have been warned. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through the legend of Ben Drowned. If you enjoyed this tale and want more spine-tingling stories, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the bell icon so you never miss an update. Have you ever experienced something strange while gaming? Share your stories in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.